Judge Adrian Cole had presided over more trials than he could count, but this one felt different. The courtroom was tense, heavy with the kind of silence that hides something important. The case, State versus Harlow Finch, appeared simple on paper: a warehouse fire, an insurance payout, and one employee accused of setting the blaze. The prosecution had evidence, the defense had explanations, and both sides were ready to end it. As the final witness left the stand, the attorneys prepared for closing arguments. Judge Cole leaned back in his chair, reading through the case file one last time. He had developed a habit over the years, reviewing every photograph himself, not out of doubt, but instinct. The exhibit folder contained 12 images from the night of the fire. 11 of them matched the report perfectly. The 12th didn't. It was the photo of the warehouse exterior, time-stamped 2 hours before the fire began. Cole's brow furrowed. In the reflection of a side window, barely visible, was a shape. Not a person, but something small. A bright red gas can sitting beside a car. He flipped back to the inventory list. The red can had never been logged as evidence. Not once. The prosecution, sensing movement, paused his argument. "Your Honor, is something wrong?" Cole didn't answer. He turned the photo slightly, catching the reflection of the courtroom light. The image sharpened. The license plate of the car became visible, if only halfway. It wasn't the defendant's car. He said, "Mr. Finch, your vehicle is a blue sedan, correct?" "Yes, Your Honor," the man said, surprised. He turned to the prosecutor. "The surveillance report listed only one vehicle near the warehouse. Why does this photo show another?" The prosecution froze. It must have been omitted by mistake." Cole nodded once, quietly. Mistakes don't leave reflections. The defense attorney leaned forward, eyes widening. "Your Honor, may I approach?" He lifted the photo for both sides to see. "You may, because whatever this second car is, it was there before the fire, and someone forgot to mention it." The jury shifted uneasily. For the first time since the trial began, the case didn't feel closed. It felt like someone had tried to close it too early. Judge Adrian Cole sat in chambers long after the courtroom emptied. The photo from Exhibit 12 lay on his desk, its faint reflection under the lamp catching the corner of his eye. He'd seen hundreds of photographs, thousands of reports, but this one didn't behave like evidence. It felt like a message. He zoomed in on the digital copy the clerk had sent to his tablet. The car's license plate was half visible. 6G2. That was all he could make out. The color, however, was unmistakable. Silver, not blue like the defendant's sedan. A knock broke the quiet. It was his clerk, Mason. "Sir, both attorneys are asking if you'll review their motions tonight." "Later," Cole said. "Pull the original data on Exhibit 12. I want the metadata, not just the image." Mason blinked. "You think it's been altered?" Cole didn't answer. "Just bring it." While the clerk left, Cole opened the printed file again. The photograph was credited to Detective R. Lund. He remembered Lund, an experienced investigator who testified briefly on day one. His notes were clean, almost too clean. When Mason returned, he handed the judge a flash drive. "Here's the raw data, Your Honor. The timestamp doesn't match the rest of the evidence package. It's 2 hours newer than listed." Cole frowned. 2 hours newer? "Yes, sir. Taken after the fire, not before." Cole leaned back. "Then why does the image show the warehouse intact?" The clerk hesitated. "Maybe it's mislabeled." Cole studied the reflection again. That silver car, that small red gas can. He tapped his pen once, slowly. Or maybe someone wanted us to believe it was taken earlier. He checked the witness list.
Detective Lund had already left town for another assignment. Still, something didn't fit. If the picture was taken after the fire, then the warehouse couldn't have looked untouched. "Get me the contact number for Detective Lund, now." As Mason hurried out, Cole glanced again at the photo under the lamplight. The reflection wasn't just the car. Behind the gas can, something else appeared, faint but visible now that he knew where to look. A figure, standing still, watching the camera. Judge Cole whispered under his breath, "Who were you waiting for?"
By morning, the courthouse lights burned low and thin. Judge Adrian Cole hadn't slept. The photo sat on his desk, half covered by a cup of cold coffee, and every time he looked at it, the shadow in the window seemed clearer. Mason, his clerk, stepped in carrying a small folder. "Sir, I reached Detective Lund." Cole looked up quickly. "And?" "He sounded surprised you called. Said he hasn't seen that version of the photo before." Cole frowned. "What do you mean, that version?" Mason opened the folder and slid a printed page across the desk, the official photo from police evidence. It was the same angle, same timestamp, but the reflection was gone. No gas can, no car, no figure. Cole leaned closer. This is what the defense and prosecution both received. Yes, the digital file was uploaded straight from the department archive. Then someone replaced it before it reached court. Mason hesitated. That would mean tampering with a sealed exhibit. Cole nodded. Exactly. He checked the exhibit log. Only 3 people had clearance to submit digital evidence: the prosecutor, the lead detective, and the records officer, Elaine Juneau. He remembered her testimony. Confident, composed, almost rehearsed. Cole took a deep breath. "Get Miss Juneau in here before lunch." An hour later, the records officer sat before him. "Your Honor," she said, trying to smile, "I was told you had a question about the case." He slid both photos toward her. "Tell me why these are different." Her expression stiffened. "Different? No, they're identical." "They're not," Cole said calmly. "One has a car, a gas can, and a person in the reflection. The other doesn't." Her eyes flickered for a second, just enough to betray surprise before she composed herself again. "Maybe a lens flare." Cole interrupted, voice steady. "The metadata says one was taken after the fire. The official one says before. Which is true?" She folded her hands. I'm not sure." "Mistakes happen, Miss Juneau," he said softly, "but this one could put an innocent man in prison." The room was still. Then she exhaled and looked down. "Your Honor, there's something you should know. That reflection, it wasn't supposed to be seen." Cole's tone sharpened. "Why?" She met his eyes. "Because the person in that window isn't the suspect. It's someone who was never supposed to be near that warehouse, Detective Lund." Judge Cole didn't move. For a moment, the hum of the ceiling light was the only sound. And in that silence, he realized the witness everyone trusted might be the one detail no one ever questioned. Judge Adrian Cole's fingers tightened around the photo. "You're telling me Detective Lund was there when the warehouse burned?" Elaine Juneau nodded carefully, her voice almost a whisper. "He wasn't assigned to respond that night. His shift ended at 8. But that reflection, it's him. I recognized the stance before the photo was replaced." Cole leaned forward. "Then why didn't you report it?" She hesitated, choosing her words. "Because he asked me not to. He said it was a misunderstanding, that he stopped by the scene after hearing the first alarm. I didn't think it mattered until the new file appeared." Cole's tone hardened. "It matters now. That photo could have been the key piece of evidence." Mason entered with a sheet in hand. "Sir,
We just pulled the surveillance logs from the evidence server. Someone accessed the folder at 3:17 this morning and deleted the original photo. Cole's gaze flicked to the clock. 3:17 again. Can we trace it? Mason nodded. The login used Detective Lund's credentials. Elaine closed her eyes. He's covering his tracks. Cole stood, gathering the photos into a folder. Get me the district chief on the phone, and Mason, no word of this leaves Chambers until I say so. Within the hour, the chief investigator arrived. He looked worn, uneasy, and carried his own folder. Judge Cole, he began, I'm here about Lund. He's missing. Cole's pulse slowed. Since when? Since last night. He didn't check in at home or at the department. We found his badge and sidearm in his locker. Cole opened the chief's folder. Inside was a printed map with a circle drawn around the warehouse district. We've been searching this radius since dawn. The trail ends near the river. Elaine spoke softly. That's where the water main broke during the fire cleanup. The area is still blocked off. Cole looked at the original photo again. The reflection of the man in the window was faint, but there was something else. A streak of light along the sleeve, a badge glinting just below the elbow. He wasn't just there, Cole said. He was watching whoever started that fire. The chief frowned. You think there's someone else? Cole's voice dropped low. No, I think he found them, and they found him first. The room fell silent. Outside, the courthouse clock struck 12, echoing through the halls like a reminder that time was still running, but for whom, no one could tell.
The next morning, rain struck the courthouse windows in thin, rhythmic lines. Judge Adrian Cole had barely left his office. The folder lay open on his desk, the two photographs side by side, one doctored, one real. Between them, the truth waited like a shadow. Mason entered quietly. Sir, the district chief called. They found something by the river. Cole looked up. Lund? Not him. His phone. Mason placed an evidence bag on the desk. Inside, a cracked device flickered with faint light. Cole nodded. Did they recover any files? Yes, Mason said. One video. It was recorded the night of the fire. He pressed play. The screen showed darkness, then the outline of a warehouse lit by flames. Lund's voice whispered from behind the camera. This wasn't supposed to happen. Someone's here. If this goes wrong, check the... The recording ended in static. Cole leaned forward. Check the what? Mason shook his head. That's where it cuts off. Cole exhaled. Eyes on the frozen frame. The angle of the shot was almost the same as the photo. The same window, the same reflection. But now, as firelight flashed across the glass, a second figure appeared briefly behind Lund. The red gas can, the same car. Rewind 3 seconds. They did. The figure's outline sharpened. Not the suspect, not Lund, but another person entirely. Cole recognized the face instantly. Elaine Juno. Cole closed the laptop slowly. She said she wasn't there. Mason's voice faltered. Sir, she filed emergency leave this morning. Didn't say where she was going. Cole stood, grabbing his coat. Call the chief. Have them issue a location alert. He paused at the door, looking once more at the reflection in the window of the photo, the gas can, the car, and the faint blur of movement that had started everything. It wasn't just evidence now. It was a confession left behind in light. Cole turned to Mason. The one who hid the truth was never Detective Lund. It was the person who replaced his photo. Mason swallowed. You mean? Yes, Cole said quietly. Elaine Juno.
She didn't delete the file to protect him. She deleted it to protect herself. The judge stared out at the rain-soaked streets below. "Issue a warrant. And this time, Mason, make sure the evidence stays exactly as it is." He sat back at his desk, watching the city blur through the rain. For once, justice wasn't about a verdict or a sentence. It was about noticing the one detail everyone else had chosen to ignore.